WMTV Studios. NBC 15 News at 10 starts now.
Only on NBC 15, a story we've been following all day. We have obtained video showing what appears to be multiple fights happening on the Madison East High School campus.
We're told this video is widely circulating among students, causing parents to wonder if their kids are safe in school.
A Madison East mom says her son is a victim in one of the fights we just saw. She believes the school should be doing more to help them.
The school didn't call me. The school did not call my husband. The school did not call the police. I reached out to the school when I received a text from my son.
And tonight, the Madison School District is calling this particular assault unacceptable, saying it's working with students and families involved. A school district representative spoke exclusively to our Elizabeth Wattis tonight. Elizabeth, the district is defending its response.
Yeah, John, just last year, MMSD voted to get rid of school resource officers. You may remember that. They say they did this to support the social emotional health of students who they say felt uncomfortable having a police officer in school. So here's the new plan they have with SROs out of the picture. It's this plan the parents of a student who was punched says is not working. The district, though, sees it differently. Is this safety plan working out how you designed it to, or are there tweaks that need to be made, just seeing it in action?
So with every incident, any altercation or issue or anything that happens in our school, what we have is an after-action review of that event. And so our safety team will come together and we will walk through the process and how we responded. And we will identify areas for improvement if there are. But no, we believe in what we have going. The big difference is SROs, but we have been able to backfill, by extra training for our security assistants who are in our high schools.
Parents, students who are gonna see these from the school district, can they make sure that know that when their kids come to Madison schools that they are safe here?
All our buildings are safe. Now, is that, will things happen? We hope not, and we're working to prevent them. But yes, there will be incidents, and with each one of these we learn something more, and with each one of these we get better in how we respond, and we get better at our focus on the safety and security of the whole child.
Now, Lamont tells me, according to their plan, the student who led the attack could face expulsion.
Now, Elizabeth, are police ever involved when there are conflicts at Madison schools now?
Yes, but not until there are internal conversations with MMSD's new safety and security director. So a little different protocol there. Lamont tells me every case is different, though, but that the district might report an incident to police if a weapon is involved, if a threat is made, or if a physical altercation happens that staff cannot stop. Now, in the assault at East High School last week, Lamont says the teacher in the classroom did try to help when it all started, but they say by the time more staff got there to help, the incident was already over. Live in the studio tonight, Elizabeth Wattis, NBC 15 News.
Now let's take a look at MMSD's safety plan a little bit closer here. First, an incident happens. Okay, then the school district notifies the central office. And then the district's safety and security director that Elizabeth just spoke about needs to decide if the incident is low, medium, or high. And that is the time when police could be called on, or the district could just handle it internally.
A beautiful start to the work week. Summertime temperatures sticking around. Grab the sunglasses early tomorrow morning. You're going to need them from sunrise tomorrow through sunset. We're not expecting a whole lot of clouds as we move through the remainder of the week. Make some time to get outside. Summertime temperatures, some of the last of the year, anticipated at least through the day on Friday. And again, we're expecting mainly sunny skies. Temperatures upper 70s to low 80s. Check out the highs tomorrow. This will really be the weather story as we head through your Tuesday. Upper 70s to low 80s, Madison westward, maybe a little bit cooler as you get towards the lake shore. Middle 70s, Beaver Dam, Watertown, and then we're into the upper 60s by the time you get to the lake shore. Of course, Lake Michigan ushering in a little bit of some cooler air. Again, beautiful this week, but we do have some big changes as we move into the upcoming weekend. I'm going to have much more on that in your full First Alert forecast.
Madison is one step closer to acquiring property which could be used for either a temporary or permanent men's homeless shelter. NBC 15's Gretchen Gerlach joins me in the newsroom now. And Gretchen, the key word here is could.
That's right, Maria. Passing these two resolutions only means the city can continue the process to acquire property on Madison's east side. But alders fear that what's selected as a temporary location could become permanent. 1902 Bartolon Drive and 2002 Zaire Road, two properties the city plans to acquire, but for what use?
The site, we believe, has the potential for a number of different uses. I know that that's ambiguous.
It's a question alders were hoping to get answers to tonight.
We don't have to do this. This is being rushed. It's unnecessary.
We are putting temporary shelter ahead of permanent shelter.
The city is proposing both locations as potential solutions to homelessness, but whether the sites in question will be used for temporary or permanent shelters is unclear.
What the council ultimately decides is going to hinge on the larger decision.
5 permanent shelter locations are up for consideration as soon as next month. It's why Council President Syed Abbas feels the push for a temporary site is rushed.
The staff is just for a few weeks away to present a permanent full-time shelter location. So it's kind of like little surprising to see the Zaire Road is pushing forward without having a permanent location in front of us.
And without a clear timeline,
Neither of these resolutions has an end date in it to say that it's temporary.
what is temporary could become permanent.
The underlying fear is the temporary location might end up as a permanent location.
Both alders say Zaire Road is the worst option, far from transportation services and other resources.
It's in the middle of a business district, a mall that is a depressed area.
The city and alders agree Bartolon Drive may have more to offer, whether it's used for a shelter or not.
We as a community really need to think deep where we want to accommodate these people.
These two locations will be presented to the City County Homeless Issue Committee a week from today. A final vote will be held on October 5th. In the studio, Gretchen Gerlach, NBC 15 News.
Gretchen, thanks. Janesville police are looking for 2 suspects who broke a car window and then stole a purse while the owner was biking. Police added the incident is felony lane gang activity. That's a nationwide crime group. We know one suspect cashed a check in Milwaukee, then tried to cash a second one. If you have any information, call Janesville Police.
The Village of Oregon Police Department is also tracking a rise in stolen vehicles. In a Facebook post today, the department says it's working to find those responsible, but in the meantime, you should lock your car and remove any valuables.
The FBI is now leading the search for Brian Laundrie. He's the missing fiancé of Gabby Petito. Laundrie was last seen by his family on September 14th after going to a nature preserve in Florida. Laundrie is a person of interest in Petito's disappearance and her death. Her remains were found last Sunday near Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming.
We have the latest data from the violent crime from the FBI tonight. Now, this is a nationwide view. The colors you see here represent the different types of data available. But let's zoom in on Wisconsin. What you're looking at right now are the trends for all violent crime from 2010 to 2020. The red line is the U.S. The blue line is just Wisconsin. And you can see in 2010, Wisconsin was trending in the opposite direction compared to the whole country. Now we're kind of mirroring each other. And the data can also be broken up by the type of crime. This is homicide. So right now, Wisconsin's numbers are mirroring the national trend.
Former Milwaukee Police Chief Alfonso Morales is now poised to be the next Fitchburg Police Chief. NBC 15's Caroline Peterson followed the Police and Fire Commission's meeting this afternoon. And Caroline, it came down to a close vote, 3-2.
That's right, John. Alfonso Morales was up against a captain with the Salt Lake City, Utah Police Department. The decision comes after a series of public forums and interviews. Morales retired from Milwaukee's police force after being demoted by the department over his handling of protests in the wake of George Floyd's death. Morales ultimately sued, saying he was not given due process. And in early July, he reached a settlement with the city. In a Facebook post, officials with the city of Fitchburg said Chief Morales was very pleased to be selected and is looking forward to working with the department. Live in the studio, Caroline Peterson, NBC 15 News.
COVID-19 vaccines are now mandated for all Madison Metropolitan School District employees. That after a vote from the Board of Education. All staff, contractors, and volunteers are now required to show proof of vaccination by November 1st. Exempt employees will have to get tested twice a week.
This as COVID-19 cases are trending downwards. Last Monday, September 20th, you can see here, DHS reported 3,600 new cases. And today, there are a little more than 1,400 new cases. A similar story in Dane County. If we look at September 20th, 117 cases reported. And then today, look at this latest data from Dane County. 0 cases reported. Youth cases are also dropping. During the last week, cases dropped across all 4 age groups. Cases for those 14 through 17, for example, are down 36%. With that in mind, we're still keeping a close eye on how the Delta variant is spreading. Right now, there's more than 5,600 cases of it confirmed here in Wisconsin.
DHS supports the Pfizer COVID-19 booster dose, now authorized by the FDA and recommended by the CDC.
The agency says those eligible should get a booster 6 months after getting their second dose. That includes those 65 years and older, residents in long-term care, and those between the ages of 50 and 64 with certain underlying medical conditions. We have a full list of those conditions on NBC15.com.
DHS recommends other groups may get a dose, like those whose occupations risk exposure. Pfizer plans to apply for FDA approval for use in younger children in the coming days. If the company applies this week, a decision could come by the end of October. Right now, the vaccine is only approved for those 12 and older.
Today, the president got his 3rd dose of the Pfizer vaccine. On Friday, the White House said it has enough supply for every eligible American to get that Pfizer booster. The Dane County executive was hoping the Board of Supervisors will approve the single largest item on his capital budget, a crisis triage center for $10 million. He says the center will help those with behavioral challenges due to a mental crisis or drug problem from entering the criminal justice system. The Sunshine Place is celebrating its expanded facilities. Now, these facilities are home to a community resource center and emergency food pantry. The expansion includes more storage space for that food pantry, among other things.
The World Dairy Expo kicks off tomorrow at the Alliant Energy Center.
The event serves as a forum for dairy producers, companies, and different dairy enthusiasts to exchange ideas and commerce.
And it runs through October 2nd.
Still ahead at 10, something to smile about. Another successful year for The Ride.
And fall color is starting to show. Your first alert forecast is coming up.